Hello, Year 9. So today we're going to be looking at calculating income tax with two tax bands, which is a calculator question. So we need to remember our decimal multipliers. Okay, so when you get a tax question, you're usually given a table like this showing all our tax information, but it's a very good idea to present this information in a slightly more user-friendly way. So we draw something that looks a bit like a timeline. We're starting at £0 and we're going up to £12,500 here, which we can abbreviate to 12.5 thousand or 12.5k. And this section here, we paid 0% tax. That's our personal allowance or tax-free allowance. And then this section here, going from 12.5 to 37.5 or 37,500, we pay 20%. And then anything over that 37%, we pay £40,000. There are more tax rates, or at least one more, but what we're looking at today is just these two tax bands. So let's look at our first example. We've got Max, pizza delivery driver, earning £10,000 a year. So we start the same as every other question with our line. So we've got 0 to 12.5. We're paying 0%. 12.5 to 37.5, where we're paying 20%, and over 37.5, we're paying 40%. Okay, so Max is earning £10,000. 10,000 is about here. So here's Max's income, and all of this income here is in his tax-free allowance. So Max doesn't pay any income tax. So £0 in tax per year for Max. Let's look at our second example. So we've got Ifran now, a waiter, earning £15,000. So let's draw our line again. So 0 to 12.5, and 12.5 to 37.5. Then we've got 0% here, 20% here, and 40% here. So Ifran, 15,000 about here. So here's Ifran's wages. Again, this section here is tax-free, so he's only paying tax on this area here. So how much is that? Well, we're going to say 15,000, which is his pay, his salary, minus 12,500. So he's not paying any tax on his tax-free allowance, and that would give us 2,500. And then we're going to look at that. We're paying 20% tax on that. So that 2,500 we're going to multiply by 0.2, because that's our decimal multiplier for 20. And we would end up with 500. And remembering it's how much tax, so it's £500. So let's look at our third example now. We're looking at Kari, who is a television producer. I'm going to draw our line again. So we've got 0 here, 12.5 here. We're paying 0% in this section, 37.5, paying 20% in this section, and this section here we're paying 40%. Okay, so 40%, sorry, not 40%, 45,000, which is what she's earning, takes us here. So here we've got our tax-free allowance, not going to pay any tax on here, and we're paying 20% tax on this part of her wages and 40% tax on this part of her wages. So we're going to look at section A first, our 20% tax. So we're saying 37,500, which is the top of that tax band. Take away 12,500, which is our tax-free allowance. Gives us £25,000. So again, it's our 20% tax rate. We've got the percent sign there, look. We're going to multiply that by 0.2, our decimal multiplier. And that is going to give us £5,000. So that is section A. So let's look at section B now. We've got £45,000. Take away £37,500. Which gives us £7,500. So we're going to use our decimal multiplier again. So the decimal multiplier for 40% is 0.4. So that's going to give us £3,000 for part B. So our total amount of tax, well, we've got our £5,000 in tax and our £3,000 from our 40% band. Just add those up, and if it's obviously £8,000. So we're going to do our main task now. So side heading main task. I'd like you to pause the video and then have a go at these questions. And then we'll come back and have a look at the answers. So pause the video. Welcome back. Let's have a look at the answers, so you can mark your own. So let's have a look at a checking question now. Okay, so this is a GCSE question. So this is in euros, and it's not, we haven't got a table, but we've got all the information we need. So again, we're going to draw a line. So from 0 up to 3,500 euros. We pay no tax, that's tax free. So from 3,500 up to 10,500, we're paying 25% tax. And then everything above that then is at 35%. Okay, so we can see now then this person, Loretta, is earning 34,500. So let's say she's about here, 34.5. So we're going to do the same thing. Ignore this section as it's tax-free. This section here, we're going to label A. This section here, we're going to label B. So section A, we're going to be looking at 10,500, take away 3,500, which is going to give us 7,000, and we're going to multiply that then by 25%, or our decimal multiplier, sorry, is 0.25, and that is going to give us 1,750. Don't forget it's euros. And section B, we are looking at 34,500. Take away 10,500. So that is supposed to be a 5. And that's going to leave us with 24,000. We're going to multiply that by our decimal multiplier, which is 0.35, which is 8,400 euros. So I'm starting to run out of space a little bit. So I'm just going to do the last part right at the top. So our total tax is going to be 8,400 plus 1,750. We're going to add those together, and we're going to end up with 10,150, not forgetting it's euros.